everybody, and in this video we're going to be talking about challenge mode, or should I say specifically we will be talking about the Warpriest challenge in challenge mode, because there's a lot of people that are very unhappy. There's also a lot of people that are very happy. So I wanted to have enough experience of doing challenge mode myself, experience how getting the loot made me feel, and I also wanted to talk to a good amount of people so that I could have a well-rounded discussion in this video of both for challenge mode being not particularly challenging and against challenge mode being not particularly challenging. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this video, both the positives and the negatives. Now let's kick things off with the positives, just because I'm not a negative Nancy and I want you guys to start this off with a happy smiley face. This challenge mode is fixing a lot of the loot problems. Plenty of people have had bad or inconsistent loot from this raid, and this is a guaranteed way to get a 320 weapon, either a heavy machine gun, a rocket launcher, a sniper, or maybe a shotgun? I don't know if the shotgun drops, but I know it's special or heavy, and also a 320 artifact, which now makes reaching light level 320 possible, which is exciting. We weren't able to reach 320 before, and now we can do that. Considering that you get guaranteed 320 loot from this challenge, as well as unlocking the ability to reach the current max light level, the fact that the challenge is easy isn't necessarily a bad thing. If Bungie made this very first challenge extremely difficult, then we would have a lot of people not being able to reach max light level, and we would experience the forever 29 problem that Destiny had before all over again. It would not be fair to the general population of Destiny to lock max light level behind a super difficult challenge. Everyone should have the opportunity to gain max light level without being a super hardcore player. And everyone loves loot. No matter if you're happy or sad about what this particular challenge is, everyone seems to agree that the loot is good because it really is super great loot. And the fact that they're giving us great loot is a really good thing. I know for me personally, being able to boost the level of all of my characters from these guaranteed drops, because my Titan has had super awesome drops, whereas my Hunter, in terms of armor, hasn't really had much at all. She still can only get to 314, whereas my Titan can get to 317. It's a big difference. So I know that for me, being able to boost my levels on all of my characters felt really good, and it also made me want to start playing the raid again to bump up my characters' light levels even more, because I haven't actually played the raid for about a month, I want to say, just because I got tired of doing it and not getting anything out of it. I still sort of enjoyed it, but it just got kind of, I don't know, it knocked you down, you know? It broke your spirits when you go in there and you're like, oh, I got a 310 stuff, yay, and dupes of what I already have, which of course I'm sure people out there would really like, but for me, my Hunter was still stuck at not a very high light level. Now, on the negative side of this challenge mode, it is named challenge mode, and it has the word challenge in it. And with the very name of the new mode being given to us for this raid, I think many of us were expecting it to be challenging. I didn't expect new mechanics or for it to take me multiple hours to complete, but I definitely did expect for my fire team to have to switch things up, get us out of our comfort zone, and the very nature of a fire team adjusting to doing something different would be somewhat challenging and take us a little while to get used to. I do understand that a good amount of fire teams have been completing the Warpriest with one person being a designated aura holder, but I think even for those teams, most likely they were able to kill him in 2 to 3 damage cycles, and having 2 other people learn how to hold the aura won't really be a challenging thing for them to adjust to. Also, we are definitely in the dry spell period of Destiny. We have a content gap right now, and a lot of people aren't getting on Destiny as much as they did before, which, by the way, I think it's totally fine to venture out and play new games that come out and not spend as much time on Destiny. Destiny is one of those games that you're supposed to keep in your life for multiple years, and there's going to be times where you super hardcore play it, and there's going to be times where you don't play it that much at all. League of Legends has been like that for me. I've played it for like nearly 4 years, but I have not played it consistently for 4 years. But this challenge mode, for a lot of people, was supposed to be the thing that they could get back on Destiny for and feel like they were being challenged again, having a new thing to figure out, new rewards to gain, and that feeling of a sense of accomplishment that you don't get to experience whenever there is a Destiny content gap. With all of this being said, we only know about one of the challenges that are a part of this challenge mode, and who knows what we will have to do for Golgoroth or Oryx. My guess is that the next two challenges will indeed be the challenge that a lot of people have been wanting, especially the challenge for Oryx. All in all, the Warpriest challenge mode appears to just be a gateway for a lot of people to be able to get some good loot and be able to achieve max light level. If that is indeed the case, then I think that's totally fine, and a lot of people who are upset about how easy the challenge is will be happy with the Warpriest challenge, having it lead into harder challenges and making sure you're geared up as much as possible for those harder challenges. That's a cat scratching. I should take Belle. Why do they have a bell? Why do you have a bell, Bella? Because your name's Bella, you got bells. Makes sense. My opinion is that yes, I was expecting more of a challenge from challenge mode, but considering the loot is the ability to be able to achieve max light level, there's no possible way that Bungie could have made this first challenge super extremely difficult, because then it would lock a lot of players out of being able to achieve that max light level. I personally would have preferred that the loot just be an emblem and a shader or something else that doesn't affect your max light level, and making all of the challenges super hard, having the way to reach max light level be something entirely different. That way challenge mode would have been challenging for those people that are looking for something new and exciting to do in Destiny during this content gap, but it also wouldn't lock out the general population from anything that affects their light level. So ultimately, I think that challenge mode is fine the way it is. It's just not what we were expecting, because Bungie didn't clearly communicate what exactly was coming in this challenge mode, and I think that's been kind of an issue with Bungie in general, is they won't really communicate to us what's happening. If they do, they'll just say, oh hey, challenge mode's coming, and we're kind of left to figure out what that is for ourselves. And when we do that, I think we're naturally gonna think that challenge mode equals, damn, this is gonna be hard, because we're gonna be doing it on hard mode and it's gonna be a challenge, which makes us think that it's challenging. So I think Bungie definitely needs to work on just clearly communicating with the community as to what is happening, because for example, if they said something like, we are gonna be giving you guys specific requirements in defeating the bosses and you'll get cool loot if you can figure it out and then complete it, then I don't think anyone would really be upset. Would be like, oh cool, so they're gonna be adding like specific ways to defeat these bosses, we're gonna have to figure it out, then we're gonna have to complete it. That sounds like we're just extending this content, which isn't a bad thing. But because they used the word challenge, we were all like, damn, it's gonna be challenging, it's gonna be something that we're gonna spend hours on, when it didn't end up being that. At least the Warpriest challenge didn't end up being that. Of course, we don't know what's gonna be happening later on with the others. So if challenge mode is how I personally think it is, and the challenges are going to get significantly harder after the first Warpriest challenge, then I think that's great. That's kind of making everyone happy, so to speak. By the way, I'm very aware that some people have not done hard mode and that some people will not find this easy. I'm just speaking about people who have grinded this game super hard and they don't really have anything else to do now. This challenge mode was supposed to be the thing that kind of brought them back, if that makes sense, if you guys feel me on that. But if the challenges are literally gonna be complete the encounter the way that Bungie wants you to, then that would be a little disappointing. Like if it's running 6 orbs, which again, I know on Golgoroth a lot of people do not run 6 orbs, and that will be difficult for them. But I just think that the challenge shouldn't be completed the way we want you to. I think it should be something different. It should be something that we have to really figure out. We have to kind of move around and test around stuff and really find out what it is and then complete it. I don't just think it should be, oh hey, you know, let's try doing this the way I designed it, guys. Also, I think that one issue with challenge mode is that there's nothing that tells you what the challenge is, which I think is fine, but there's nothing that says if you failed it. So using the Warpriest challenge for an example, the challenge was to use a different aura holder, right? So if you use the same aura holder, I think something should pop up saying you have failed the Warpriest challenge or something, just so you guys know to wipe and just try it again. Because think about this, just picture this scenario. You are on Oryx. It is Oryx challenge mode week. You don't know what the challenge is, you kill Oryx, and turns out you didn't do the challenge. You now have to start the raid all the way from the beginning to get back to Oryx. Now, of course, you can put checkpoints on your characters and make sure that they are there if you do fail it, but what happens when you run out of checkpoints? What happens if you just don't think about doing that? What happens if someone just has one character, or an entire raid group just has one character? I don't think it should be up to us as players to fix that problem. Do you guys know what I mean? Because I think it's just really gonna suck to not complete the challenge on Oryx and have to do an entire raid all over again. They should add something in game where if you don't do the challenge, it should say you failed so you can wipe and do it again. Or if you do actually manage to kill that boss, having the option to just respawn from that actual boss encounter and redo it would also be an option. I just think that there should be something within this challenge mode that allows us to fail and go right back into trying again instead of doing the whole raid all over again or using up checkpoints on other characters. That's just my opinion, but ultimately, I think that challenge mode is fine. It's just not what we were expecting, but I really like the loot. It's not challenging, and it's not going to be something you're spending super long trying to figure out, but it does fix a lot of problems. It's just not what we were expecting, but hopefully the other challenges are a little bit more challenging and we can have a good time with challenge mode. So that's pretty much it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hoped that I was able to put all of the opinions both for and against within this video to have a well-rounded view of challenge mode. Let me know in the comment section, are you for it or against it? Do you think this specific Warpriest challenge was enough, or would you want to be more challenged and spend longer trying to figure it out? Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll speak to you awesome people later. Bye.